Welcome. Today we're at the City Hall with Mayor Adams. Thank you, Mayor, for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Just curious, how often have you been here? Is this your first time in City Hall?
I've been like years ago. I used to attend City Hall hearings when I was a student at City College.
Okay, good.
What we do on our program is we record interviews with CEOs and presidents of different companies at the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. And then the idea is to tell stories of different companies and about their innovations. And this year, what we're hoping is to educate students and the youth about stocks, bonds, and about other financial instruments so that they can become investors and also benefit from the stock market. And I know that you have your financial literacy initiative, and please tell us about it and what this program entails.
And it's so important when you think about it, how you manage your health would have a major impact on your quality of life, both physically and mentally. But when we think about health, we think about our bodies and not having financial health.
Right.
Having a healthy financial outlook and lifestyle would have a major impact on your life in so many ways. And what we're doing in this administration is we're starting the process of educating our children formally on financial literacy. How you manage your finance will have a major impact on your life. How to buy a house, how to pay for college, how to invest.
Right.
And we want to not only say to our young people, you should understand chemical bonds, but you should understand stocks and bonds.
New York City itself is such a great example of fighting for freedom, for independence. And currently, as you know, Ukraine is fighting for its independence. What is your stance on Ukraine, and how can New York City be, helpful to Kiev, to Kharkiv, to Odessa, to those Ukrainian cities that are struggling right now?
Well, we stood fast at the start of the war. We allocated millions of dollars to help those who were fleeing Ukraine to be able to stabilize their lives here as the war is playing out. We would have all hoped that the war would have ended earlier, but this is a city where you have one of the largest Ukrainian population in the country. We like to believe this is the Kyiv of America. We have a very rich Ukrainian community. We welcome that community here in the city. Many of our residents in some way or another are participating in helping the Ukrainian people.
In terms of the housing, I know that recently there was rezoning ordinance passed in 6 decades.
Yes.
How that impacts affordable housing?
Yeah, it was called City of Yes. It is the most comprehensive housing reform in the history of the city.
Okay.
And what it did, when you look at each year, the 3 years, fiscal years we were in office, and year 1, year 2, and year 3, we preserved and built more housing than any other mayor recorded history in each individual year. But we went even further. We did rezoning, because in order to build higher in the city, or higher than what is traditionally used in a neighborhood, you have to rezone to do so. We have rezoned the city in a manner through City of Yes to make sure that every community board in the city is now building housing in their community board. We have 59 community boards. The city is divided by community boards. Out of the 59, 10 of them were building more housing than the 49 combined.
Okay.
And so what we did with the City of Yes, we're now making sure that all 59 of the community boards are building more housing. And when you add what we've built, what we preserved, and what we've zoned the city for, we're going to see 426,000 new units of housing in the next next decade. This is really good stuff, particularly when we're dealing with an inventory problem. Lack of housing is driving up the cost of housing,
Right.
supply and demand. We're now going to build more housing so we can drive down the cost of housing.
I'm from Tbilisi, Georgia, the country.
Okay.
And then some of the actual casinos have devastated some of the communities, especially the youth. So what are some of the defenses that we can use in New York City?
Yes, and casinos, they bring jobs, they bring good union jobs. They could be an economic stimulus in a city or municipality, but you do have to have safeguards because it also can hurt those who are low-income New Yorkers and they are using their money to go and gamble, and we don't want to do that. So we will make sure by partnering with the state that there are real safeguards in place to not allow anyone to abuse or be abused by the gambling system.
Your administration has been credited for having the largest job growth within the recent years. What were the main key drivers, policies, or strategies that you've used to accomplish that?
Yes, it didn't happen just by crossing our fingers.
Right.
We did not say, let's sit back and wait and hope things happen in a good way. We did just the opposite. I always like using the scenario of rivers that feeds a sea. And there were many rivers that flew into the sea of our job growth, about 4.8 million jobs, the highest number of jobs in the history of the city.
Wow.
We broke the record 10 times of breaking our own record. Right. So we did a number of things. Number one, we looked at where unemployment was hurting us. You saw citywide we were dealing with unemployment issues, but particularly in the Black and brown community. We decreased unemployment by 20% in those communities. We knew that when businesses wanted to open and operate here, that the number one thing that concerned them for their employees was safety.
Right.
We knew if we made the city safe, it would become an economic stimulus,
right,
and other people would come here. We brought down crime in our streets. We brought down crime in our subway, where employees and employers look for their employees to use. 5.6 million people use our subway a day. We brought down crime to record numbers in decades outside the 2 COVID years. But we also knew that we need to incentivize our businesses, small businesses and others, and we've done just that. We stopped penalizing them for outdated rules. We allowed them cure periods to fix their problems, and we also made sure that we invested and gave them access to capital. So it's a cross-section of rivers that we allow to flow into our job, our ability to increase the number of jobs in this city.
And in regards to tax relief, I know that a lot of middle income families are struggling with affordability in the city. What tax relief programs have you implemented?
Yes, and when many people don't understand that New York State is one of the highest tax states in the country. And the mayor's office, we have no say-so on income taxes or sale taxes.
Right.
We have say-so on property taxes. That's the power of the mayor on property taxes. And no matter what we went through, COVID, migrants and asylum seekers, a downturn in the economy, we were able to navigate that without any layoffs and without increasing the property taxes of New Yorkers because of that. And so what we must do use our office to address the affordability issue. And we say, how do we do that? By putting money back into the pockets of New Yorkers. I like to say, I can't control the price of bread, right, but I could put bread back into your pockets.
That's good.
We put $30 billion back in the pockets of New Yorkers. Number one, we raised the earned income tax credit. This was so important. It was the first time it was raised in over 20 years. We did it when I became mayor. Number two, what many people are learning about every day, if you're a low-income New Yorker, you pay no income tax in the city at all. We were able to remove income taxes for low-income New Yorkers. This is a huge advantage for low-income New Yorkers. And then many employees go through medical issues. If you're a low-income New Yorker and you come up with medical debt, we're excusing all of your medical debt and billions of dollars. So what we were able to do is find ways of putting money back into the pockets of New Yorkers. When I speak to my employers, they tell me how important it is for their employees to have childcare. We know that it is a major barrier for working moms specifically. And what we did, we lowered the cost of childcare from $220 a month to less than $20 a month. So when you start adding up what we have accomplished, we controlled those taxes that we can control, and we also made sure that we use our resources to place them back in the pockets of working class New Yorkers.
I need to ask you this question about the roads. You know, in New York City, roads can be better. So what can be done to fix that in your next term?
Yes. And it is three things. One, we need to look at new innovations around road designs and asphalt. This has been an old system. I sent the team out to find new ways of having long-standing roads improvements. What the problem is that our weather changes here in the city. The climate changes from snow to salt to rain. It erodes the asphalt system. And we're looking at different types of salts to use that are not as corrosive, but we also want to use new materials to pave our roads because we believe we can do a better job in doing so. That is the focus. We hear it all the time. You know, when you come from other municipalities, they use different methods, and their roads are much smoother and easier to drive on and not potholes. New Yorkers we're known for our potholes, and we're going to move in the next term to do something to fix just that.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and wishing you good luck in your upcoming election.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.